David Davis with our winter horse care tips. One thing I want to talk about is you'll need to clean your horse's stall even during cold weather. And so to go in with a horse and clean their stall, I recommend to put a halter and a lead rope on your horse. Even if you don't use it, you don't think you're going to need it, you might need to take a hold of it to maneuver your horse. So I'm going to drape the lead rope over his neck. So then if I want him to step sideways, he should simply move over out of my way and then stay over there. And horses tend to crowd people, and so you have to train them to stay. So I have a hand signal I use so that when my hand's up, he's not approaching me and he'll stay over there. While he's over there, I can clean this side of the stall. And then I should be able to maneuver him to the other side of the stall. Step over, step. Good. And he should stay over there on that side of the stall while I'm working here. And for horses to stay out of your space is difficult. You have to teach them that. Horses that we handle a lot tend to be friendly. They like to be in your space. They like to nose around and see what you're doing and stay close to you, which is wonderful. We want to encourage a close relationship and a bond between you and your horse. But at the same time, when you need them to step over, they should do it very obediently. All right, practice makes perfect. So you saw some very minor body language gestures that I just did. That's how I teach a horse to step out of the stall. One basic maneuver that I teach lots of people is that when you're leading your horse, I call it the stiff elbow maneuver. So I'm going to back him up. Good. Now if I would ask him to come forward, and then when I ask him to stop, you pull back on your halter and stiffen your elbow and move the horse's head away from you. So then he becomes accustomed to stopping and staying over there. But horses tend to be in your space and in your business, and they like to crowd toward you. And see, he has a tendency to come toward me, but it's up to me to stiffen my elbow and move his head away, and then I can teach him to stay over there away from me. I do have a hand signal. When my hand is up, he knows that he shouldn't crowd toward it. But obviously, he's not afraid of my hands. It's been very gentle methods that I have instilled to him to watch my body language and to respect my body language. So now if I did stiffen my elbow and push his head away, he doesn't argue, he just moves it away. And then I could draw him back to me. And so that is an introduction to our liberty training, where I can send him out to maneuver around me, or I can call him to me when we're performing at liberty. So since he understands all that, it's really easy for him to catch on to my minor gestures. When I push his head over, he doesn't argue, he just lets me put it over there. And then when I draw him back to me, he brings it back to me. Very good. So there are some basic concepts of pressure and release. The horse should always move away from pressure. When they do, you give them a release, which is a reward for doing the right thing. And when you maneuver horses in that way so that they understand, they're very willing to please you. One thing is, when you're cleaning their stall, you need to be able to maneuver your horse out of the way, and you need to be able to do that safely. Some horses get feisty and they'll push into your space. They could even bite at you or kick at you, but you want to teach them to be more submissive and not allow any of that aggressive behavior. One thing is, a horse needs to be able to back up readily when you ask them. And so there are a few different signals that I give a horse to back up. One basic signal is that I would like to pull back on the halter. Okay, he should drop his chin and step backwards, and there should really be no argument about that. Very good. But not all horses are that well educated and know how to do that so well. So there is another body language maneuver that I tend to do when I want a horse to back up. And it's simply that I would put my arm in front of them, and I would actually push my elbow in a bend over their nose to ask them to step back. That seems to work so well. That is a body language that horses catch on to. When your arm is across their nose, they'll just step backwards, and they usually wouldn't argue against that, because horses have a tendency to move forward and be in your space, but you have to teach them to back. And when he heard that word, he probably started to think, oh, he's going to ask me to back up. So I simply push on their nose to ask them to step backwards. I normally would not push on their chest because horses can argue and they can push. They could even try to jump upon you if you were under them, pushing on them otherwise. So you do need to signal them with their nose. That's why I say we should always have a lead rope and a halter on the horse while you're in the stall working with them so that you can maneuver them well. We hope this series of videos has helped you have ideas about how to manage your horses safely during cold weather. Even though you might be stuck inside, there are still some maneuvers you can do, and you can develop your relationship with your horse so that you and your horse can form an even closer, stronger bond while you're stuck inside. But remember, they have more energy when they haven't been out to release that pent-up energy that they have from being stuck in a stall. So I hope we've shared some ideas with you that will help you manage your horses better and help them to be obedient, but also help them to enjoy their interaction with you, because I believe there should be a partnership between a horse and a person, and horses want to please you when they understand what you want them to do.
I thank God for giving me a dream to keep me living right, to give my life a purpose so I can find